In October, a cosmic gateway opens, bringing more clarity, while at the same time shaking power structures where we least expect it. What these energies mean for you and for the world, especially for the United States, India, Ukraine, Russia and Israel, I will explain in just a moment. But first, a warm welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Suryodaya Krupp. I'm a spiritual medium, a healer and a Vedic astrologer. And if you are interested in energy updates, spiritual awakening and healing, feel free to subscribe to my free newsletter where I share weekly insights and guidance. You can find the link below this video. Before we dive into the October energies, let us take a quick look back at September, because the events strongly confirmed my predictions. And by the way, I'm recording this video on September the 21st, the day of the solar eclipse. So some of these things connected with the solar eclipse energies may still unfold after this recording. I had said that Uranus acts like a cosmic explosion, bringing sudden and shocking changes, often connected with leaders. And this became visible with the assassination of Charlie Kirk on September the 10th in Utah. A shocking event that reflects the disruptive and unpredictable power of Uranus. I also pointed out that for the United States, the total lunar eclipse activated the third house, the area of media, communication and information flow. And here we saw clearly confirmation. In the United States, for example, Jimmy Kimmel was suspended by ABC after his comments about the attack for Charlie Kirk. A strong example of freedom of speech being put under pressure. And at the same time, Pam Bondi announced radical new measures against so-called hate speech in direct conflict with the Constitution, showing how censorship and control themes are rising strongly now. And also in the Middle East, the astrology played out exactly. I had said that Mars in the 12th house for Israel, and this Mars was activated, points to hidden operations. And indeed, we saw secretive and violent actions, including the assassination of leaders in Yemen and the attack on the negotiation delegation in Qatar. These are classical examples of military actions happening behind the scenes from a hidden level. And there is much more that could be said, but let us now look at what October has in store. In October, 3 special energetic events will shape the month. The first is the activation of the fixed star Spica. Spica is one of the brightest stars in the sky, and whenever it connects directly with a planet, it carries great importance. At the beginning of October, it aligns with Mercury and later also with the Sun. And I will explain more about this in a moment. And the next important event is the new moon on October the 21st in the sign of Libra. And there's so much going on. Also, the full moon is important, and I share more insights in those energies with my daily updates, my shorts, and you find them. I will link it here for you so you are informed every day about the current energies. And so this new moon on October the 21st will happen in the sign of Libra and is accompanied by a Mars-Mercury conjunction. And I will go into the details shortly. And the third important energy shift is planet Jupiter. Jupiter on October the 18th, he will move into the sign of Cancer. And whenever Jupiter changes signs, it is always a major event. This time, however, it will only be for a short visit until early December, before Jupiter moves back into the sign of Gemini. And we will also talk about this today. And of course, like I told you, there are so much more planetary movements, but it is too much here in this monthly update. So check my daily updates. And by the way, if you are interested in Vedic astrology and you can learn it, to learn how to read a Vedic birth chart, I have an online course where you can step by step understand more about the energies of the planets, the houses, and how this all comes together. So if you are interested, I have also a free workshop where I shared a lot of insights how to read a horoscope. And if you don't have your Vedic horoscope, you can order it in our online shop. Check this also. You find the link below this video, because you cannot use a Western horoscope for this because the planets are there in other houses. So if you want a Vedic horoscope to match my predictions, check it out. But now let's go deeper. On October the 2nd, Mercury aligns with Spica, this amazing, bright, fixed star, in the sign of Virgo. And Mercury is exalted there, which means his power is especially strong. And this gives us a time of extraordinary clarity in thinking, sharp discernment, and deep insights. Communication, media, and also personal conversations may now bring hidden truths to the surface. On October the 16th and 17th, we have also this conjunction with the Sun. The Sun passes over Spica. And this works like a cosmic spotlight, making authenticity, truthfulness, and realness visible. It is no longer about details or small matters, but about central questions. What has real substance in your life and what is only facade? Spica with the Sun often brings highlights, revelations, or moments in which you clearly recognize what truly lasts. So in October, Spica acts like a double peak, first through Mercury, giving us clarity of our mind and communication, and then through the Sun, making the truth shine in full radiance. It is like lighting a candle in the dark, a moment of hope and clarity, reminding you that truth will always find its way. The fixed stars are something very special in astrology, and they are one of the main reasons why those insights can be so deep and precise. I even wrote a book about the fixed stars, but sorry, it's only in German language till now. So if you have planets close to this point, 29, 30 degree in the sign of Virgo or 0 degree in Libra, then you have a direct connection to this fixed star. And this transit from Mercury or the Sun play an important role and activate extraordinary luck, clear breakthroughs, or special opportunities for you. So check this out. It will help us all, but if you have planets near these degrees, it will help you more. And you have to check which house this is in your horoscope to know more which part in your life you will have those extraordinary energies. The second major event in October is the new moon on October the 21st. And this new moon takes place in the sign of Libra at 4 degrees in the lunar mansion Chitra. And Chitra is connected to the energy of Mars. And we have also planet Mars and Mercury there in Libra. And that makes this a very intense new moon, because Mars and Mercury are almost exactly conjunct. This creates a strong mix of heated energies, escalations, confrontations, and especially in relationships and business partnerships, and maybe also international business partnerships. And this is very powerful because not only this new moon is very intense, but it creates a finger of God, a 6-8 relationships between planets. And this is most powerful because it is activated with this new moon. And there we have the new moon in Libra, and 6 houses away we have Saturn and Neptune, both are retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and then we have in the 8th house Uranus in the sign of Taurus, also retrograde. And this acts like a karmic knot, a point where many tensions converge. Retrograde Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, they bring illusions, but also they create a karmic point that helps us to find the truth and to find something that really breaks out. And Uranus in Taurus shakes everything we thought was stable, and mainly when it is about our economy, money, possessions, our material foundations. They may suddenly feel uncertain, or even we can see a collapse. The new moon in Libra acts like a wake-up call. And Libra usually stands for balance and harmony, but with Mars and Mercury almost exactly conjunct, the energy turns provocative, and discussions can quickly escalate. Conflicts in relationships, in politics, or also on the negotiation table. We will see how this will play out. Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces, they lift the veil. Promises that cannot be kept, deceptions, and also unclear agreements come to the light. Retrograde Uranus in Taurus rattles everything we considered safe, especially when it is about our economy and money. Digital currency systems such as the digital euro or maybe dollar are being presented to us more and more strongly. And this causes fear for many people because it allows for more control. Whoever does not comply could simply have their account blocked. And surveillance keeps expanding. With these energies, it is clear this topic will be discussed more and more in October. And another note about the Sun. In the sign of Libra, the Sun is weakened, and you can feel it. During this phase, there is often a lack of clear leadership and stability. Health issues may also become more noticeable, as we could currently see with Donald Trump. This also shows up in the stock markets, which tend to weaken or react nervously in this period. With Mars and Mercury adding fuel to the fire, we can expect heated debates, rash decisions, and conflict over economic regulations. This new moon brings quite a lot of tension, but within this tension lies also the chance. If you are willing to look closely, you can come out stronger in your relationships, in questions of fairness, and also in your approach to money and security. Exactly where things are now unstable, something new will be born. After chaos comes clarity, more fairness, and a chance to move forward on a stronger foundation. I see many positive developments at this time. This is not the moment to bury your head in the sand. Now to the third event. From October the 18th, Jupiter, planet Jupiter, will move for a short time into the sign of Cancer, where he will remain until early December. In Vedic astrology, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which means he expresses his greatest strength here. This brings family matters more into focus, as well as the care for others. The feeling of home is awakened, along with traditions and the need to feel rooted. Many people in this phase may feel a strong longing for protection and security, for a sense of truly arriving in a home. But it can also show in a more difficult way, as exaggerated nationalism and withdrawal tendencies, or maybe building walls of protections to keep anything out that might hurt you. It is important to look at which house the sign of Cancer falls in your chart, because this will show you where you feel this strong longing and where Jupiter's blessing want to be fulfilled for you. So check this out with your Vedic horoscope. Jupiter in Cancer will also be exactly opposite of Pluto, and this can show power struggles around resources and more control concerning social support systems, and the theme of immigration and border protection. And Jupiter will stay in Cancer until early December, then move back into Gemini before finally entering Cancer for good in early June next year. These were the most important energy shifts for October. And now let us look into the horoscopes of specific countries. For the United States. For the United States, the new moon on October the 21st falls in the 11th house in the sign of Libra. This is the area of networks, alliances, and political partnerships. Here tensions may become very visible. Organizations, lobby groups, and powerful networks, such as the APEC or similar associations, could come under stronger pressure. It becomes clear which connections are still strong and where power struggles are being exposed. The Sun is weakened in Libra, and this reflects in a lack of clear leadership. Much feels shaky and unstable. And the finger of God, the Yod, activates the 11th house, the 4th house, Pisces, and the 6th house, Taurus. And this puts a strong focus on the country and its people, and especially on international relationships, which may come under even more pressure. Communication becomes sharper, perhaps even directly with Israel, where conflicts of interest are becoming increasingly obvious, especially after the death of Charlie Kirk. For Donald Trump, this Yod activates the 3rd house in Libra, the 8th house in Pisces, and the 10th house in Taurus. This can mean more pressure on his public image, revelations coming out, coming to light from hidden places, and also power struggles around his political position. At the same time, the activation of these houses strongly points to his health being under strain. Physical vitality and resilience may weaken, and health challenges could become a central issue in how he is perceived publicly and how he can continue to act politically. Next, for India. For India, the new moon on October the 21st falls in the 6th house together with the Sun. The Sun, Moon, Mercury and Mars. And Jupiter is placed there in the birth horoscope, amplifying and expanding the energy of this intense cluster. The 6th house relates to health, service, labor, and the functioning of everyday systems, areas that could now come strongly into focus for the country. At the same time, the Yod is activated between the 6th house, the 11th house, and the 1st house. This creates a karmic pressure point that touches India at its very foundations. It suggests challenges around public health, the organization of work and service, and the balance between the collective needs and the individual identity of the nation. So, for India, the new moon is a cosmic spotlight on the core structures of the country. Let's check Ukraine. For Ukraine, the new moon on October the 21st falls in the 10th house in the sign of Libra. This is the house of politics, power and public standing. Pluto is also positioned here, clearly pointing to power struggles, pressure and the risk of explosive developments. With Mars also in the 10th house, the energy becomes even more aggressive, highlighting military actions, decisions from those in authority, and a climate of confrontation. The Yod additionally activates the 3rd house in Pisces and the 5th house in Taurus. This means communication, neighboring countries, media and propaganda are affected, as well as children and the younger generation. This shows that the impact will not only be political or military, but also deeply felt in society, especially among the youth. For Ukraine, the new moon on October the 21st falls in the 10th house in the sign of Libra. This is the house of politics, power and public standing. Pluto is also positioned there, clearly indicating power struggles, pressure and the danger of explosive developments. With Mars also in the 10th house, the energy becomes even more aggressive, pointing to military actions, top-down decisions, and the climate of confrontation. The Yod additionally activates the 3rd house in Pisces and the 5th house in Taurus. This brings communication, neighboring countries, media and propaganda more into focus, as well as children. It shows that the effects will not only be political and military, but will also be felt within society, especially for the younger generation. For Russia, just a short look at Russia, because this could also be significant. The new moon on October the 21st falls in the 4th house in Libra. where Pluto is also placed. This highlights profound questions of power directly tied to the land, to the people and inner stability. With Pluto here, issues of control, pressure, and the breaking open of hidden structures are emphasized. This points to tensions between homeland and security on one side and foreign affairs and military themes on the other. And especially interesting for Putin personally, the activation of the 8th house is very strong, the house of transformation and deep change. At the same time, the fixed star Spica plays an important role in his chart. And this suggests that the developments in October may feel highly personal and fated for him, involving hidden plans, secrets, and possibly surprising revelations. For Israel, the new moon on October the 21st falls in the 2nd house in Libra, together with Ketu in the birth horoscope. This directly touches the themes of money, values, resources, and the question of what the country builds its security and stability upon. With Ketu present, all securities may weaken, or something that was taken for granted may be lost. This intensifies crisis themes and debt, dependencies, and hidden power struggles. International partnerships are strongly tested in October. Unexpected developments triggered by Uranus suggest that the foundations of Prime Minister Netanyahu's leadership may become unstable. And exactly through this, the existing conflicts are likely to escalate even further. October brings many tensions and revelations. We can see how strongly the themes of networks, alliances, power structures, and finances are being activated in many countries. The new moon acts like a knot point, making hidden things visible and forcing us to look closely. Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune show that much can no longer continue as before. The cards are being reshuffled. At the same time, this month also gives us a clear message. Truth comes to light. With Spica as a bright fixed star, with Jupiter in Cancer, and with these cosmic connections, a window opens for clarity, hope, and new pathways. Even if old securities begin to shake, the chance grows to move forward on a more stable foundation. Here the energy of Libra comes into play. It reminds us that at the core it is always about relationships with other people, with nations, and also with yourself. October asks you, where do you need more balance, more justice, more true partnership instead of facade? For you personally, this means pay attention in October to where old relationship patterns in your life have reached their end, and where you find the courage to admit this honestly and take action. New people can only come into your life when you consciously decide to let go of the old. We are still feeling the aftershocks of the eclipses in September, and this is exactly why the energies remain so intense. But life is always on your side. It is about seeing even more clearly who you are, what your gifts are, and how you can be a contribution to the world. This is how the new begins to emerge, when we deeply long for what truly carries and nourishes us. October calls you to bring clarity into your connections, and with that clarity into your own life. Use this cosmic gateway and step through with courage. And share this important video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, I love you.